Have you been looking for God? Maybe you think you found Him, or you're not so sure. John 1 verse 1 says that God is the Word. We all have Bibles, right? So we found God. Hooray! Not so fast. Finding God entails more than just having a Bible or reading it every day. It's a start, but not the end goal. So if you're looking, here's how to make sure you've really found God. Let's start by talking about how we should have found God at the time of the first coming. When Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, the Spirit of God came and dwelled with Jesus. There are several instances where Jesus tells us that He and the Father are one, and that He abides in the Father and the Father in Him. And later, we find out in John 14:6 that the only way to the Father was through Jesus. That's because God was working through Jesus at that time, as seen in John 14:10. Jesus said, "The words I say to you, I do not speak of my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing His work." So essentially, everybody at that time had to go to Jesus if they wanted to go to God, who was at work in Jesus. However, they weren't too keen on what Jesus had to say. Sure, they loved the miracles in the food, as seen in John 6, but they were too preoccupied to listen to and understand what Jesus was saying. When Jesus taught about being the bread of life, they took it literally. They didn't stick around to find out what eating Jesus' flesh and blood truly meant. Jesus was talking about His words, in which they could have life and find God. Fast forward to today. Do we need to eat Jesus' flesh and blood in order to find God? Short answer, yes. For the regular Sunday Christians out there, does that mean we just need to eat bread and grape juice every once in a while? No. As we saw, it's Jesus' words, not literal flesh or blood. Jesus' words also apply to us. We need to learn, understand, and follow Jesus' words in order to find God. In John 14:23-24, Jesus says that by loving Him and obeying His teachings, God will also love them and come to make His home with them. That's us. Now the tables have turned. If we find Jesus and obey His words, God comes to us. At that time, God will knock on the doors of our hearts, and it will be up to us to open that door and let Him in. Once we've learned and understood Jesus' words, we become obedient by following all He commands us to do, namely, the new covenant that He made in His blood. If we are unaware of what that is, shouldn't we make the effort to find out? Furthermore, we can trust and believe in Jesus' words as the way to find God because Jesus is from God. He was prophesied in the Old Testament, and He came according to promise and fulfilled everything according to what was prophesied. From being born of a virgin in Isaiah 7:14 to His resurrection from the dead in Psalms 49:15, His ascension into heaven, it's all there to help us believe. Therefore, we need to have the right understanding of what exactly Jesus' words tells us. Without knowing Jesus' words, can we truly say we found the way to God? And just as how Jesus came to explain everything to the Jews so that they would believe and follow Him, Jesus also promised the same for us in John 14:16. Jesus promised that we too will be reminded of all that He taught us. So if we want to get this reminder, we need to find out where God and Jesus are, when they will come back, and how we can recognize them at that time. Then we will be able to hear, believe, and begin our journey towards God. And if you don't know the who, what, where, when, how about the second coming of Jesus, we've got you covered. Visit our channel to find out more. Searching for God is a good thing, but in doing so, we should consider that truly understanding God's Word and Jesus' teachings is the only way to do so. If we look in the right place for God, we won't have to find Him because He'll find us. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe.